Mariam had always believed love would be her safe place. At 28, she thought she had found it in Abayomi, a man who once brought her flowers and promised forever. But months into marriage, forever began to look more like survival. Pregnant and worn down, Mariam now lived in her husband's family home with his overbearing mother and sharp-tongued sister, Bisola. What should have been a season of rest and care became a daily struggle. Abayomi was barely around, coming home late and often drunk. He hardly gave her money for food, let alone offered support. Still, Mariam rose early every day, sweeping, cooking, doing laundry, her belly growing heavier, her back screaming for relief. Her in-laws never lifted a finger. Iya Abayomi would mutter as Mariam cleaned, "Women today are too soft. In my time, even pregnant of twins, we used to fetch water and still go to the farm." Bisola never missed a chance to insult her. "You just eat and sleep. Is it only you that's pregnant?" Mariam tried to hold herself together for the sake of her baby, but that night shattered everything. Abayomi came home at 3 a.m., reeking of alcohol. His voice was loud and sharp. "Where's the food?" "You didn't leave money," she replied, her voice tired. That was all it took. "You're useless," he shouted. "You think carrying a child makes you special? Get out of my house." He flung her bag outside and pointed to the door. Mariam stood still, heart pounding. She looked down at her belly, tears falling, and picked her bag. Then once outside, she called the person that loved like her own daughter. "Aunt Rebecca." "Auntie, he threw me out," she whispered, voice trembling. Her Aunt Rebecca was calm. "Wait at the gate. I'm sending Femi." Within 30 minutes, her cousin Femi pulled up. He didn't ask questions, just helped her into the car, wrapped her in a warm jacket. As he sat in the car, he looked at Abayomi's house and angrily, "This man does not deserve you," and he drove her away from that house of pain. At Aunt Rebecca's home, she was welcomed with love, no judgment, just a warm meal and a soft place to rest. Mariam cried herself to sleep that night, but not from fear, from relief. Over the next few days, she began to breathe again. Aunt Rebecca didn't demand explanations. She offered her space, good food, gentle care, and quiet company. For the first time in months, Mariam could think clearly. By the end of the week, she blocked Abayomi's number. He had texted multiple times, between saying sorry and next minute blaming her. "You should have handled things better." After reading the last message, she was done. A month later, Mariam began working part-time at a daycare. The laughter of children soothed her soul. She felt stronger. Slowly, the light returned to her eyes. When the time came, her labor was long and painful. But when they placed baby Zara on her chest, Mariam broke into tears. Every sleepless night, every insult, every bruise on her heart, it was all worth it for this moment. Aunt Rebecca wept too, holding the baby and whispering, "God turned your sorrow into joy." Weeks later, Mariam shared a single photo of Zara's hand wrapped around hers. No caption, just peace. Then a message came, from a new number. "She's beautiful. Can I come see her?" It was Abayomi. She stared at the message for a while, then replied, "We're fine. Zara doesn't need a part-time father." The next day he showed up with a teddy bear in hand. His face was full of guilt. "Please," he said, "I want to be part of her life." Mariam stood in the doorway, her daughter on her hip. "You had a chance to be there when we needed you most. You let your family insult me and threw me out like trash. Now you want to return because she's here?" she said firmly. "Number. We've found peace, and I won't let you break it." She closed the door gently. Zara cooed in her arms, and Mariam kissed her daughter's forehead. "You saved me," she whispered, "and I'll never let anyone hurt us again." And just like that, Mariam stepped into her power, no longer just surviving, but living. For herself, for Zara, for the future they were building together.